History of the Nugget Hotel Casino in Sparks, Nevada. It started back in 1953 when the Idaho Supreme Court just banned slot machines. Dick Graves was the owner of 10 successful clubs throughout the state where slots were the main attraction, but the new ruling gave anyone who owned them 3 choices: to ship them to Nevada, turn them in, or destroy them. Dick Graves didn't hesitate. He immediately sold his properties and headed south to Nevada. By March of 1954, he had opened 3 small cafe casinos in Nevada, one on each of the main streets of Yerington, Carson City, and Reno, all named the Nugget. At Graves' side, in charge of food operations, was someone named John Asquaga, who had been working for him in Idaho for several years. In March of 1955, Graves opened a 4th Nugget in Sparks, just east of Reno, and appointed Asquaga its general manager. In 2002, Asquaga recalled the challenge of being in a town not exactly known for its casinos.
We had the road of hard knocks being in Sparks, trying to educate the general public to come to this area. We've always had the philosophy at the Nugget, if they come once and we can't get them back, it's our fault.
The Nuggets promotions were legendary, including hiring a man named Happy Bill Howard to live on a 65-foot high flagpole in front of the club for 205 days. It helped that B Street, known today as Victorian Avenue, was not just Sparks Main Street, but also the route of US 40. Within months, the Nugget expanded, and in just a few short years, Graves had assembled enough property to open a much larger, custom-built casino building across the street. Still, Asquaga recalled that some remained skeptical. John Asquaga said they would make a statement when they saw that big building go up across the street that this would be a good place for people to store onions and potatoes. They didn't think we'd be successful. The new Dick Graves Nugget opened in 1958. Graves himself was soon ready to retire. He had already sold the other Nuggets, and in 1960, he sold the one in Sparks to John Asquaga for $3.75 million, famously requiring no down payment, which, as Asquaga explained, wasn't as risky as it might sound. John Asquaga said, "We had a good relationship, Dick and I did. We were all real close, and it was kind of unheard of to buy a place with nothing down. And it was a good deal for him also, because you just don't sell a place to anybody going down the road." And he knew I was part of the operation from the day it started. John Asquaga's Nugget made a name for itself with top-notch restaurants and a showroom headlined by an elephant named Bertha. A 35-foot high statue of Nugget mascot Last Chance Joe stood sentry outside the hotel. The hotel towers later secured the resort a permanent place on the skyline, and by the time the Asquagas sold the Nugget in 2013, the Last Chance Joe statue is in front of the Sparks Heritage Museum on the corner of Victorian Square and Pyramid. A little history of Bertha the elephant at the Nugget. Back in 1962, the Nugget began a unique phase of its history. That was when Bertha, the amazing elephant, was purchased. This was the start of a long-term commitment to the care of Asian elephants. Bertha was purchased to serve as a performing symbol in the Nugget's theater restaurant, then known as the Circus Room. Bertha, born in 1951, made her home near the Nugget in a large elephant barn, complete with her own swimming pool. The second-floor living quarters are for Bertha's full-time trainers. What started it is that John Asquaga and others were concerned about the decline of the world's elephant populations, especially Asian elephants that were an endangered species and being hunted almost to extinction for their ivory due to ivory poachers who still even go into parks and wildlife refuges to kill elephants for their tusks. Like most entertainers, Bertha followed a very tight schedule. She rose each morning around 8, and after being fed, she runs through her routines. When the weather's good, Bertha plays in her exercise yard between 10 and 2, where people could come and get a close look at the famous pachyderm. In the evening, Bertha walks to the celebrity showroom, where she performs twice nightly, 6 days a week. Many school groups visited the elephant facilities at the Nugget to see and learn about elephants up close. In addition to her performances at the Nugget, Bertha was a goodwill ambassador to the casino resort. She traveled in a specially modified 60-foot truck to areas all over Nevada and California, making countless appearances at civic events, telethons, charitable functions, as well as trips to schools and library.